I am back again with my video, but this one's something a little more personal to me. I might have done something similar to this before, but you need to know some things about myself before you get a little, try to figure out who I am. Although I can be a tad bit mysterious or mischievous, whatever you like to call it. But, and 90% of the time I don't wear makeup, and that does it really good. I am trying to be a little bit more candid about my feelings. Delicious. Okay, that's good. I'm telling you. It's delicious. I cover my face. Yeah, I know it's been since yesterday, but this time it's not going to be BTS related. And, it's something I have pretty much my entire life. And I might cry during this video, so if I cry, well, it's very personal. And it's going to be a little tougher. So, autism. What is it? Yeah, this is going to be harder than I thought. But autism, or ASD, or autistic spectrum disorder, might be wrong, but I think it's autism spectrum disorder. Spectrum disorder. I can't talk. Give me a sec before I do it incorrectly. Okay. Google, don't feel me now. Let's see. Okay, it's autism spectrum disorder. So autistic, close enough. Autism spectrum disorder. There we go. So, what is ASD, or commonly referred to as autism? Autism is just basically like a neurological type of, not necessarily neurological, but more like social awkwardness and stuff like that. I mean, just kind of like more social behavior type of thing rather than mental things going on in their heads, getting overwhelmed, stuff like that. But autism is just, it varies from person to person. Some people, and autism is not a particular look whatsoever. Autism can range from people who are severely can't live by themselves because they don't have like any physical or mental ability to live by themselves. And some of them are not too terribly shabby, but they can't seem to put their own feet together, that type of thing. Then there's people like me who have Asperger's, which they take everything out, which I don't like that because that's part of my personality. But Asperger's is like a mild form of autism, which basically means we can talk. We can talk to people. We love y'all. But we're just more socially awkward and don't know behaviors and stuff like that. Speeches and stuff like that. And I have Asperger's for a long time. But the signs and symptoms, it ranges, but if you catch it as early as you can, at least no younger than like 18 months. If you have a kid who has, I don't really remember much, but I do remember my mom saying that I can speak some, but I couldn't really talk in full sentences. Because it's actually more of a development disability. It's more of a development disability really than anything else. That's pretty much what autism is. It's just development disability. But usually it includes the symptoms really just include like social challenges. By that, it's like social cues, how to act like in public, learn how to behave and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what that is. Communication difficulties. Sometimes it's hard to communicate or express how I feel. it's and I get it. Like, it's so hard to like speak words, and because autistic people do feel things, and it's so confusing. You're like, what the heck is it? I don't know what this is. You know, it's just like mama jumble. You're like, what the heck? And I gotta try to put my phone for a second. But actually, and there's also repetitive behaviors like doing the same routine every day. Autistic people in general don't like changes, me included. That I'm getting used to. I'm learning to be more comfortable with change, and I'm not fond of change. And it really does vary from person to person, because it really does. Like, for me, I'm not terrible. Like, people wouldn't know, because I look like a normal person. Like, autistic people are normal people. We don't have physical disability at all. And all disability is kind of hard, but autistic people don't look it. There's like no particular look. No matter how many times autism speaks, try to bring a look to it. And there's like no one look whatsoever. It's like a vast majority of everything. And I fully believe that. But actually, what's funny is, and you have statistics of the rate of autism, they mostly do America, because it's so widespread in America. Actually, when I was diagnosed, autism was pretty rare. I mean, it's mostly a dude thing, because autism is mostly a guy thing, because it really is. Girls rarely get it. Girls rarely get autism, and it's really like now it's one out of 45 kids in America. I might be a little off by a little, but that sounds about right. When I was diagnosed, it's like 1 in 10,000, which was like I was 9 when I was diagnosed. I was young. But in other countries, it's kind of like like developed countries, it's kind of astonishing how there are some countries that are just raised similar. And since I've been into K-pop for a while, I am sort of mind blown at how the rate of autism in South Korea is. 1 in 38 kids have autism in South Korea. I'm like, that's really pretty close to the American one. Japan's pretty high too, like 155. Ireland's 1 out of 65. I am pretty rich, by the way. Canada's like 194. China's still kind of big, but it's like 1 out of 435. And Germany's like 1 out of 263. But there's so many countries. Even England might have a pretty good like statistic, because it's in developed countries. You don't know in like developing country, you never know. But I'm just saying this not just because I'm into K-pop or anything. It's just like that kind of surprised me, and I believe it, because there's like a guy who created Pokemon. He's autistic. Actually, I think he has Asperger's. And he's from Japan, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, it doesn't matter where you're from. It's not necessarily a race thing either. It's a human thing. Oh crap. Sorry about that. Well, but you're wondering, you know how old I was when I was diagnosed. How was I diagnosed? Some people get self-diagnosed, and a lot of people get professionally diagnosed. Me. So it's good that I have parents that really do care, because they noticed something kind of wrong when I was younger, and apparently they took me to like specialists and stuff like that. It took a long time to really figure out what it was. At one point, I was diagnosed with something else within the autism spectrum, but it was not until I was 9 when I got diagnosed. what's funny is, like, when I was younger, second, third grade, I know, like, state capitals. I have a really good memory. That's probably why I have a pretty high IQ of, like, 120, but I might be wrong. I just have a really good memory. But actually, the person who was diagnosing me, he's kind of like, okay. It's like, country capitals. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure, whatever. The countries. Once they got to Korea, and I was like, north or south? And that doctor determined I have Asperger's. I think people with Asperger's are more like, which is like, you have to clarify more. So people with Asperger's are more like, clarify this, and then boom, got it. So that's kind of the thing with Asperger's. Asperger's is more like, you have to be specific. I have to be specific with me sometimes, because I need to know. I need to know everything. But that's how I was diagnosed, and I was diagnosed pretty young, so they gave me the proper speech care, the occupational therapy. I even did autism summer camp to help me learn behavioral skills. That's actually not bad. I was actually, based on the raising, like, it's just how it is. But it really does help. I know I wish they still do that, but they didn't have enough money to fund. I even volunteered because, So, and it's also really good to have some really great support. And I know some people who don't have the great support they need because maybe the parents don't get about themselves. They just think they're just weird or whatever. Or they've just been abusive parts I really can't talk about. But I've been so blessed to have great support system. Like, parents that care. Like, the way I was raised is different. Everyone's raised differently. The way I was raised, yeah, it's actually a miracle that I don't actually complain. I try not to complain as much, but, but you have to have one support system. And if you're a Christian, and like me, which I am, but I'm kind of I'm not going to be judgmental of your other religions. Like, I'm that type of person who doesn't judge, but that's a different story. I mean, I'm like one of those Christians who's pretty chill about everything, but I'm pretty chill about everything except for certain things, but other than that, I'm pretty chill about everything else. So, but you have something you believe in, or you're like me, who was raised in a Christian home, who's been saved at an early age, and all this, and there is nothing wrong with having something to help you be calm about yourself. If not, some people just do yoga and running, which I do that too. I do running. And it helps me it just gets rid of the stress and knocks everything out. I even took Taekwondo for a little while, which I was a lot about. And that's like the greatest stress reliever ever in the entire world. Trust me, yelling kiap, although I might be saying it wrong, that feels really good. Punching a bag, sparring, and all that good stuff. But it's just an outlet for me to relieve my stress. How do I live with this? Just live like you're yourself, and like being yourself. I've been kind of proactive about that, but I've been through some personal stuff before, and I'm not ready for relationships just yet, because I have to learn to be more confident about myself, because I have to be more confident about myself, and stuff like that. All the other stuff I don't want to talk about necessarily, but I just live like I'm a normal person. I actually am going back to school again for business, Because God bless me, the major I picked was not practical. And I'm like, you know, just wish it was more practical where I'm from. But anyway, I actually believe that you can set your mind to wherever you want. But when they diagnosed me when I was a kid, they told my parents I wouldn't graduate from high school. Yeah, I wouldn't even go to college. Well, sad to say to the doctors, but I'm totally fine. I actually can speak pretty well. I graduated from high school, 6th in my class. They had honors and everything. I graduated from college, my first round of college with 3.30, jeez. And I'm taking classes again. My last semester, I started school again. I made a 4.0 GPA with working part-time. Although I am not working full-time yet. I need to get a job, but that's a different story. This helps me out a little bit to think. I'll start my ASMR. Okay. That's why I don't have to eat during videos. But I say you just be yourself. Although it sounds it's very cliche, but it's super true. And I'm a big advocate for it, for sure. I'm starting to do that more now than I ever, because now I feel like I have more of a personality than I used to. I actually express my feelings a lot more than I did when I was in high school. Still the same person, it's just a tad bit more open to everything. Like feelings and stuff. And there's nothing wrong. Don't treat people with autism like they're some disease. They're people too. Me included. So, just because they have a disability doesn't mean they're aliens or something. I kind of get that. I understand that very well. And actually, just don't be aware that someone has autism. Just be active in their lives and help them have them be aware of how amazing they are. Aware as not in like being aware of just the fact, but just give the person with autism or someone with Asperger's like myself, make them aware and realize they're more than just a disability. They're a human being. They're special. Yeah, I'm about to cry. I'm starting to tear out, but that's cool. But people with autism are awesome. I'm just being realistic. Good thing about having autism, you have a great personality. Trust me, people at work call me silly girl. Like one of my coworkers call me, you're so silly. You know. But don't be afraid to like, you know, just, you know, no, don't forget people with autism are just as awesome as normal people. Or probably 10 times cooler than they are. I'm just kidding. But, and speaking of people with autism that are people too, autistic people do have feelings. I do too. We just don't express the feelings that well. That was my phone. I actually believe we do have feelings and emotions. We just are a little delayed on that. By that, I mean we have too much going on in our heads. We just got a lot going on. But I've been in a couple relationships where it was just, I think, and I just go over my head. What? You know, I just go over my head. Nothing wrong with the relationships with a couple of guys I had before, but actually not relationship. One was not really a relationship. And the other one's actually a guy I knew for a long time, and I kind of eventually wrote down. And actually, I'm not going to say his name because I just known this guy for a long time. He was my first kiss. No names. I'm not gonna say names, but actually, autistic people can have relationships, but that's just, you have to, if you're the person who does have autism, just know that our feelings are just a lot stronger than yours. Sometimes, because it's real. Our feelings are real, it's just we have a hard time expressing it. And since I obsess over things and stuff, as you can tell by my background, but in the past, I've been obsessed with Barbie dolls, Harry Potter. Like, I even been obsessed with Elvis Presley and the Beatles at one point. Backstreet Boys. I've been in so many fandoms, it's crazy. I get it, like, I know. But you can tell by my background, it's like, yeah, we have everything in the wall. But yeah, pretty much everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with an autistic person. It's just, you gotta learn to love us as much as we love y'all. We might not open up as easy, but we're sure I'll have fun. As you can tell, I'm about to end this pretty shortly because I've been ranting way too much. But autistic people are really cool. Autistic people are seriously the coolest people ever. If you ever met me in person, you're probably like, what the heck? I'm just a normal person, except I'm just unique. And there's nothing wrong with being yourself. I wanted to love myself and love others too. And that's pretty much all I have to say. And, yeah, I will post this soon, and hopefully I can get some rest and do some schoolwork, because I'm going to be ahead and get pitched for a convention. I'm going to a convention, and I need to get stuff done. Okay. I love you.